Welcome to Butch's Building Blocks. Today's project is going to be a simple but elegant cutting board. We're going to take some maple, black walnut, combine them, put a beautiful stripe down the middle of them. Come along with me, I'll give you the dimensions and walk you through it step by step. Our first step in here is to get our cutting boards together. We could do a simple butt joint like that, but it's not going to add a lot of pizzazz to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut both boards on a 30-degree angle and then glue them up. When cutting big lumber on an angle, it's best if you can secure it down, because as that blade's going through, it will pull your piece and cause your cut to be curved. Here's our boards, cut on a 30-degree angle. It gives it a real nice look. I'm going to glue these up and then we'll move on to our next step. This is what our wood looks like glued together. Our 30-degree angle here. I'm going to cut on this line and that line, which will give me a 15-inch board length, which seems to be about the average size of most cutting boards. This is what our block looks like now that it's cut to 15 inches in length. We're now going to make 2 rips and put in an accent color. I've chosen to use Purple Heart. Purple Heart will go with both of these very nicely. Our board is cut into its separate sections. When we put it back together again, you see this line lines up very nicely. When we take our Purple Heart and insert it back in and then go to square things up, you can see now that the line is off. Okay, this is because these 2 pieces of wood are displacing it. So when we go to glue this up, we're going to have to be careful and glue it up so that these pieces line back up again and it looks straight. This little bit of offset will catch at the edge when we trim to square up. The other thing we need to do is that with exotic woods like Padauk, Purple Heart, Zebra Wood, these are all from South America or Africa. These woods actually have a lot of oils in them, and you need to take some isopropyl alcohol and wipe those woods. And I don't know if you can see it, but you can see the purple stain. That purple stain is the oil coming off the wood. Now, if you don't take the oil off the wood, your glue isn't going to stick very well, and you'll get some separation. But you can see all the purple oils that have come off. Glued up, I used my parallel clamps, but you can see that the line is very straight, and yet when you look to the edge, you can see that it's zigzagged a little bit. Like I said, we'll just trim those up and it will be perfect. But anytime you make a cut where there's 2 pieces of wood coming together and then split them apart, those lines will be offset because of the two pieces of wood that you put in. Our next step in our cutting board is to round over the edges. I'm going to use a 1/4 inch round over bit. We'll do all these edges and give it a nice little shape. Our next step is to set our saw blade at a 40-degree angle and then cut a chamfer all the way around. I like to put my chamfer about 1/2 to 2/3 of the way up. That gives people plenty of room to get their fingers in here to lift and hold the board. There's the cut. It's a little bit shallow. I'm going to take another pass, but I'd rather take too little off of it first time and catch up on the second cut than to cut way too deep on the first one. There's my second pass. That's a little bit over halfway. That's a very nice amount of bevel to have on your cutting boards. Remember to cut the long sides first and then match the short sides up to them. Here's our long side cut. You can see the corner there. And then there's a short side cut. That's what you're looking for. Making these two lines intersect perfectly at that corner. I like to do a water pot between each of my sandings. It raises up the grain and makes it a lot smoother. The other thing is, you get to see pretty much what it's going to look like when it's oiled. Now you don't need to soak it, just get it wet. And there you go. That's pretty much what it'll look like with oil on it. I like to give my cutting boards and everything I make a little bit of a special touch. This is a 1-inch diameter hole, and I take a year coin, 2022, and I will put that in there. So many people will say, well, when did you get this? Well, now all your customer has to do is turn something upside down and take a look at the coin. The other thing is to give it a little bit of a branding. Little things that I like to do on each and every item that I build. Our cutting board is almost complete. All we have to do is oil it up. I'm going to be using Waller's cutting board oil. That looks very nice with a shine to it. We'll let that oil soak in for a while, and then we'll add another coat to the bottom side. This cutting board has turned out magnificent. The two colors, the walnut and the maple, enhance each other, and the Purple Heart just adds a little bit of pizzazz. Although this was a rather simple cutting board, it's still very elegant. If you like the way I've made this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you really like the way I instruct in my videos, please subscribe to my channel.